In the past 3 years, AI has helped humans to generate text, images and code. Today we're looking ahead to 2026, examining how a shift to voice-first tech that relieves teacher administrative workloads, how it helps. For more, we're joined by Janet Moeller here from Teacher PA. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
So talk to us about how voice AI agents are transforming how professionals are working across industries.
Sure. Well, from an investor standpoint, Andreessen Horowitz has estimated the growth to be about $10 billion US, and a CAGR, or compound annual growth rate, to be 37% a year until 2029. Those are huge numbers.
Yeah, they are huge numbers. What do we mean when we're talking about voice AI technology?
Sure. So from the tech perspective, we're looking at a shift from software as a service to service as software. And what we mean by that is that software as a service are those platforms that we're used to. You have the tabs and the buttons, and you always have to be
kind
there.
of like Xero and the administrative tools that we all use, that we subscribe to.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And service as a software is more like the personal assistant that I had when I was a principal. And bless her heart, when I got to work, she had this list of emails that she had already gone through and she had drafted responses to. She came to me with file folders worth of admissions applications for me to go through, the research that she had collected. We went through that together, and then I could go off and do my human work, and she could continue on that complex work that she was doing.
Yeah, which is pretty important and also incredible.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how voice technology is really a game changer for teachers and why.
Yeah. Well, voice activation and voice first, we're not talking about an add-on that we've been used to. We're talking about native voice. What it can do is it can pick up on the emotion and the nuances and the context that you can't get when you just type into AI. So what that would mean, for example, a teacher on playground duty, something happens, she can't stop and type.
Yeah.
But what she can do is she can activate the voice AI either during the incident or after the incident. It will pick up on the emotion, it will pick up on the context and the nuance. And as she's talking to it, it's already drafting the summaries and drafting the parent emails and communications that need to go home or that the paramedics are going to need. So that after she's done teaching for the day, she doesn't have to go and try to remember everything and relive that trauma. She can just look over the documentation that the personal assistant has done, send it off, and go home.
Yeah, 100%. And also, Janet, it's so much easier to talk than to text, isn't it? So you actually give the AI so much more than if you just type.
You can, and then if you think about that same teacher that's on the way to school, we're talking about an asynchronous capability. So she could be driving to school the next day and remember all the things she forgot when she went home. So through her car speakers, she can say, can you please draft an email to parents reminding them of the swimming carnival tomorrow? Can you make a list of students that are going to be out of the classroom for music class today, what time they're leaving? Oh, and I need to talk to Bobby's mother. Can you give me a report on the last 6 weeks of our conversation so I can remember? So it's a human in the loop turns into approval in the loop, and it's ready for her when she gets to school. She could focus on driving.
I guess what you're talking about is removing barriers for teachers and focusing more on what is natural than what feels a bit unnatural.
Absolutely, yeah. It definitely is more natural just to talk and then have things ready in a queue for when they get there. The security features that we have make sure that nothing goes out without the teacher approval, which is a really important point.
Why is it so important for teachers to remain human-focused as opposed to screen-focused? Because ever since computers have come into schools, I would imagine that there's been more and more of a shift towards teachers sitting behind a screen and almost hidden behind a screen.
Well, in some cases, but teachers can't stop teaching. We can't tell students, you stay in the corner and be quiet while I type this up. That really doesn't work with 27 to 30 little people or even teenage people in your classroom. So you really do need to be able to talk between classes so that you don't have that mental overload where you're trying to remember all the behavior incidents and all the learning things that you need to type up at the end of the day.
Investors usually like to get involved with things that make sense.
Yeah.
This makes sense. How can investors get involved?
Sure. Well, first I'm looking for schools and teachers to be in our next pilot session. They can reach us at teacherpa.com.au. Investors can reach me on LinkedIn.
And how excited are you for the future of this sort of tech?
I'm excited about the idea that teachers will be able to have somebody that does their work behind the scenes their admin work, not just their lesson planning. Like I had that personal assistant as a principal. Teachers need that too. It just won't be human.
All right, Jana Moller, really appreciate your time on Ticker. Thank you.
Thank you.